Have you guys been watching the new show Dangerously Obese on TLC? So far, I've been enjoying it. It's on Wednesday nights at 8, 7 Central, so if you need a show to watch on Wednesdays, it's perfect. It reminds me a lot of like My 600 Pound Life, but what I like about this show is like My 600 Pound Life always starts off super depressing, you know, with the sad, depressing music as someone is struggling to get out of bed and doing their infamous shower scene. But this show, I mean, it does show the struggles, but it's more upbeat compared to My 600 Pound Life. Like, instead of starting off this show with depressing music like My 600 Pound Life, it starts off this episode with Ty, who's 22 years old, and he's twerking in the kitchen as he's eating hash brown casserole. And I really like Ty. He is a big guy with a big personality, but I think he's one of the youngest guys I've seen on one of these shows before. It is really scary how big he is at such a young age, because if he's already at this at 22 years old, like, how's he going to be 10 years from now? Ty is only 22 years old. He's very young, and he is a big boy, but despite that, he is still able to work a full-time job. He works at this tax and loan place, and he said when he's not working, he enjoys hanging out with his family. He likes eating food, and he said that when he was 12 years old, he realized that he was gay. But he went to church, his family was big into church, and he felt like nobody would be accepting of him coming out, so he hid being gay for another 10 years. And once he was 22, he finally came out to his father, and he said at first his father was kind of in denial, and he eventually did cry, but then he learned to accept it. And then he said that he quit going to church because he just started feeling ashamed of the fact that he liked men, and he prayed about it, but he could not pray the gay way no matter how hard he tried. And despite being into guys, he's yet to lose his virginity. He says he has guys hit him up like on dating apps, but he says like a lot of the guys are like too big for him, so he's trying to find somebody who's like small because he doesn't need all that. I feel him. If you're gonna have someone going in your back door, you want to find somebody who's like a little pencil dick. You don't want to go find somebody who's all girthy and the size of a freaking tree trunk. But he said that he has had issues with his weight since high school. I think a lot of it came from him being gay and feeling like he had to cover those feelings up with food, and his weight drastically declined when he was in high school. By the time he was a junior, he was already 424 pounds. I mean, somebody should have took him aside then and did like an intervention or something. But he said he was just like so hungry. I mean, as a teenager, you're growing, so you're hungry a lot more, like, compared to like other ages in your life. But I think he was also just full on taking advantage of that, because even though he's not a teenager anymore, he still wants to eat all day every day. Most people, when they get stressed out, they want to take a walk, they want to smoke a cigarette, they want to smoke a joint, they want to have a drink. But Ty, when he's stressed out, he runs straight to food. Like, he was with his family and all these kids, and the mom was getting in this side by side, and he was trying to get in there, but he could not fit. Like, even I think it was his sister or one of his family members tried to help push him in the side by side, but he's just way too big. There's no way she's about to do that by herself. Like, they need to call the fire department if they want a chance in getting him in that side by side. Most people after that would be like, okay, let me go find me a gym I can get me a membership at, or let me go on a walk or do something different. But no, Ty, he instantly just wanted to go right back to the kitchen and consume more calories. And that's exactly what he did. And finally, he went to go see Dr. Proctor. So we have Dr. Proctor in this show instead of Dr. Now. You know, I like Dr. Now and I like Dr. Proctor. I think Dr. Proctor is so fine. Daddy Proctor. The only thing is, I think he needs to be like more sassy like Dr. Now. But so far, we haven't had like any really big failures. So I wonder how he's going to handle people when they're really not sticking to it. But he was really nice, like with the Slayton sisters, for example, like when they weren't sticking to what they needed to do. I think for the most part, producers found people in the area of Dr. Proctor's office. Like the last girl from last week's episode, Dr. Proctor was able to drive up to their house and visit the mom. And I haven't noticed anyone go like on day-long car rides like we see in My 600-Pound Life, where people will be driving so far they're on the verge of getting a blood clot from sitting in the same place for so long. And then so Ty went to see Dr. Proctor, and I can't remember his exact weight. I want to say he was between like 550, 600 pounds, which is still really bad for 22 years old. And Dr. Proctor said, look, I want you to lose 50 pounds. And Ty seemed like he was a little defeated when he heard 50 pounds. I got scared because the way he was acting, it seemed like he was thinking, oh, 50 pounds seems unattainable in 1 month. So I was scared he was going to be one of those people that think it's too hard to do, so he's just going to give up from the very jump and become unmotivated. But he ended up going back home. He started this diet, and they were showing clips of his family members walking in and busting him. Like one time he got busted with some fast food and a milkshake, like all really extremely high calorie foods. And he's like, look, I'm just having one cheat day. And they're like, okay, but it can turn into 2 and 3. And then they busted him like drinking soda. And this man was not just like sipping on a soda. This man was like chug-a-lugging a soda like he was in a freaking damn race. I thought it was interesting when he met up with Dr. Proctor and he was explaining, I don't really eat breakfast, but he said he eats like really big dinners. Like he'll skip eating all day and then at night he'll just go hard. And that's the thing, like if you're at the point of where you're starving, you're likely gonna eat a lot more calories than you normally would. And Dr. Proctor was like, I know where you would think that this would probably be beneficial, only eating once a day, but it's actually a terrible idea. And if you're going to be eating once a day, you should be eating like earlier in the day instead of right before you go to bed, where you're going to be laying down for 8 hours. And he revealed that if you're only eating once a day, that your body's actually going to store calories and it'll make you gain weight because your body's not going to know when it's going to get its next meal. I just thought that was interesting because I used to not know that. I remember I got sick one time and for like 2 weeks I barely ate anything. I was throwing everything up that I was eating and drinking, and then when I did eat, it was like I was literally living off smoothies for like 2 weeks and barely having any smoothies. You know, smoothies can be high calories, but I was only having like one smoothie a day and nothing else. And I'm like, why am I not losing weight? And then come to find out, my body was in starvation mode. And when your body's in starvation mode, you're not gonna lose weight. But anyways, he came back. He started on his diet. He cheated here and there. I was like, oh, this is not looking good. And his family had no problem putting him on Front Street when they caught him cheating. They were whipping out the camera with a quickness. Like, they're almost as quick as the Maury producers when they found out somebody wasn't the father and they started chasing the baby mama. But he ends up doing really good. He goes back to Dr. Proctor's office and he lost over 50 pounds. I'm like, hell yeah. He got approved for this surgery. Dr. Proctor said he's one of the youngest people he has seen come in for bariatric surgery. And he ended up having a successful operation. Fast forward, we see him. And this man looked like a completely different man. Literally half the man he used to be. He is down 350 pounds. No, he lost 320 pounds. His goal weight was 275 and he's now at 235, and I think he's one of the biggest transformations that we have seen from this on the show by far. And although we're seeing this episode just this month in October 2025, he actually underwent his weight loss surgery back in 2022. I think a lot of these episodes were filmed back in COVID, because I was wondering, I'm like, okay, why is Dr. Proctor asking all these patients if it's okay if he can take his mask off if these were filmed recently? Because it's been years, you know, since we've had to wear masks. Then we got to end the show on a good note. We got to see Ty do a drag show, and he was all dressed up, and even Daddy Proctor came out to his show. And you know, Ty seems like a fun dude to hang out with. He'd be cool to go play some bingo with at Hamburger Mary's, or go out and have a few drinks with. I bet he's a ball to hang out with. But yeah, then after that, he actually did an interview, and he went on let me see if I can find the website. I can't find it in my notes, but I will leave it linked in the description. Okay, I had to stop and look at who he did the interview with. It was with Parade. So he did an interview with Parade News, and he revealed that his life has changed drastically since the show. Not only is he now down 300 pounds, but he revealed he is now engaged. He's been with this guy for going on 2 years. He met this guy on Facebook, and he said he's really happy. He is still struggling to recognize himself. He pretty much feels like a stranger in his own body. When he looks in the mirror, he doesn't recognize himself. He's like, dude, that is not me. Because he's not used to being the size he is. And he looks back and doesn't understand how he let himself go to the degree that he did. But he's glad at all the progress that he's made. And he said he's so much happier with the guy he's with now, and just mentally with all this weight off him. And he said that he's had a few friends who actually got the surgery, and they ended up not losing any weight because they didn't work on their mind and change how they see things and how they see food. He said that was the biggest obstacle for him, and he just wanted to warn other people, like, look, if you're not ready to change where you're at mentally and work on your mind, then this isn't for you. You need to wait until you're ready for it. And he said that he's glad that he was able to do that. He's very thankful for the show and Dr. Proctor. But that's pretty much it, guys. I'm glad to see that things are looking up for him and he hasn't gained the weight back. And yeah, so far I've really been liking the show. I thought they were going to do 2-hour episodes because last week's episode was 2 hours long, but it was because it was a girl and her mom. So I'm assuming that's why. And this week we had 2 episodes back to back of a different person. One episode with Ty for an hour, and then we had an hour with someone else. So I'm assuming most of the episodes are going to be an hour long, unless it's someone like super interesting. I'm assuming maybe someone has a lot of struggles and downs with their journey. Then maybe they'll make the episode longer. But it seems like so far they've had 2 success stories for the first 2 episodes. So I love to see it. But that's it for this video, guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Man, I wish Dr. Now would have been able to go to that drag show.